Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian at Whisper Status 74. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the channel. This is the first time you are seeing me. Please consider liking and subscribing. We are real tech for real people. Today's video will be another Best Buy / Costco walkthrough where I go into the store so you don't have to. These videos have become more necessary than ever, as many of you are still locked down, many of you are snowed in, you lost your power depending on where you are in the country, or locked down just due to what's happening in the world. I'm here just to take you through the store, to show you some prices on both 4K and 8K displays, namely those from 2020, and just to give you that in-store experience and show you what those displays actually look like. Unfortunately, the inventory in many of these stores has diminished, but I'll still give you that that walkthrough feel and show you those displays in person.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
Now, even though many of these displays are from last year, there are plenty of great displays to look at from 2020, namely the Sony 950H, the Sony 900H, the Samsung Q90T. We also have TCL. We also have the Sony OLEDs, the LG OLEDs, the Sony AAH, the A9G, the BX, and the CX. You're going to see those prices drop little by little, especially since new panels are coming out at the end of this month. I have some hands-on time with the A90, the new Sony OLED, but that has been pushed back till next week. So as we see these trickle in, you're going to see these prices start to fall. So try and be a little bit patient for these prices to fall. I'm here to check them out and to see if we can also catch any new ones coming in. Quickly, I want to also say thank you to Chana D from TechnoDad. He had me on his channel a few days ago. Please check him out. Please subscribe to him. It's very nice when a larger channel asks a smaller channel to be on their channel, which is really, really nice. Really great of him. You've seen me also with FOMO on Tech. You've seen me with Shane and Spare Change. You'll see more collaborations with other YouTubers, also with Brass Tacks. That's coming up as well. But back to Chana D and TechnoDad. Again, it's nice to have such a large channel accept a smaller channel and a smaller community. And I also want to say thank you to you guys, because your friendship, your positive attitude, your information, your knowledge, so much of what you guys do in the comments and being in community is why these larger channels don't just go for the person on camera. They really look at the community that channel has, and that is you guys. And I want to thank you for that, but also thank you for your camaraderie and your friendship, especially during this year. You guys are amazing, and I'm just very thankful to have your friendship and to have you guys as this community and family. Let's go into the store. All right, guys, now we're doing the voiceover. You have to love how I give all that love, then I segue. Let's go into the store. I do want to give you the in-store experience. Unfortunately, there's also a hard truth with these videos, as you see a lot of empty shelves, and also things mislabeled and movies not where they're supposed to be. But with stores like Fry's going under, it all starts with empty shelves. I know Best Buy is still in decent shape, but if you look at here, the Prince of Darkness, that's not the price of it. They're in the wrong spot. But a lot of empty shelves, which unfortunately, when a lot of us go in the store, if you can't find what you want, you immediately go online anyway, which, these stores have kind of become almost curbside pickup warehouses, but there's nothing on the shelves, as you can see. Very little. Same stuff that's been there for a long time. No real new releases. So while I'm trying to give you the store experience, unfortunately, this is the store experience. I try to buy a movie every time I go in, and the last few times there's really been nothing for me to purchase. I recently did purchase the John Carpenter collection, and they Live and Prince of Darkness looked really, really good. The other ones looked okay. Fog and Escape from New York. So just showing you again over here by the Nintendo Switch, again, a lot of empty shelves. Not really sure why, but there's almost nothing on the shelf here. Same with the Xbox. Now, clearly not looking for Series X, but I was looking to pick up the extended memory card. It's not here. A lot, again, very little. And, we're getting into, March soon. There's no holiday buyout thing. There should be having inventory back in the stores. A lot of old games. And PS, PlayStation area, same thing. And this is one of the major Best Buys in the area. We are in Connecticut. This is the Norwalk. And then we're going to segue over to the TVs shortly. Now, I always do focus in the beginning on the open box situation that we see. Now, many of you do look at open box and think it's a good option. To me, be very, very careful if you do. You can tell by the condition of these boxes. And there is no labeling on any of these to say why they were returned. I've had open box displays with dead pixels, flashlighting, all kinds of problems, and they've just sold them. So just be very careful. Make sure you have a good warranty. They keep now more of their cheaper TVs out here, their Fire TV, some of their older, I should say, lower end Hisenses out here. Here's the return sound bars. Now we'll start with the Vizio OLED. Pretty impressed with the Vizio OLED, especially in store. And here is, other than the box, there's the 55 and the 65. What I will say I love about this Best Buy is it's actually a mess, but as far as how they have their TV set up. But behind me, what I like as we're looking at the Vizio OLED is they have random panels side by side by side by side. Directly behind me, up top, is a CX and an A9G. And instead of just playing Best Buy commercials, in between is some pretty good demos. The problem is I'm too close because there's very little room. So you're looking at a CX on top, an A9G on the right, and a 950H on the right. Below this is, see that pulls right in the way. So there is the A9G. The camera does have a hard time here. I'll take a second to zoom in on that. Still $4,000 for the A9G. And then you have the CX sitting here. Like, this would be a good video in itself, but I can't get far back enough. And there's a nano cell, the Q versus the 950H, which is here at 85 inches for $37.99. I mean, 85-inch TV. Now, I didn't mention this in the intro, but speaking to some of the Best Buy guys, they're saying that a lot of the panels are being pushed farther back. So the A90J has been pushed back a little bit. I'll be seeing that hopefully next week. There's one of the nano cells, the 9 series. The problem of why you're maybe not seeing these prices drop much is new panels aren't coming as we think they are. Some of like the G1 Evo, some of that stuff might be pushed to summer. So we're going to have to see. So you might end up looking at, the last gen. There's another nano cell. But there's a lot of great deals to be had as far as quality displays, namely the A9G, the AAH, the CX, the BX. They're really, really beautiful TVs. Now, this wall that I'm telling you about here, it's just great that they're all next to each other. Over here, they have a 900 TS, the 82-inch. I have an 800 and a 950. I think the 950 is above it or 900 is above it. Oh, 900T. Now, the challenge with some of these walkthroughs is they throw movies on. But yeah, see, there's demos right there. You can actually see how these panels look side by side. I would say they all look pretty equal. The Nano definitely suffers. But the A9G, I'm telling you, the A9G in store, look at that. But look at the 950H. There's definitely depth to the OLED, but at that price for 85 inches, I mean, really, really nice. And there's the CX right there, C10. And then the Nano just has a little more of a washed out look. Still looks good. Look at the vibrancy on the A9G and the 950H. And then they cut to these quick Magnolia. So I spend more time here than I normally would. We're going to cut over now to the ZX, which is LG's 8K model, which again is gorgeous, and you can be had for the very reasonable price of $20,000. So this one's over here. I'm surprised this Best Buy has the ZX. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's 8K. But what's funny is, beautiful as it is, it's just not worth that. There's no way that it's worth that. But it is beautiful. And styling wise, these TVs don't have, there was a clear difference years ago when you went up to the really, really high end panels. They're so slim now. They all look pretty similar, unless you get to the side where you can see the differences with the GX. You can see that it's pretty flush, which I'll show you in a second. That's that classic LG Global demo. Now here we are, where this is also a Samsung. Now this is very expensive, 10 grand. I know it's blurry, but this is the 950 TS. It's one of the only 8K TVs other than the Z8H that you see and you're like, wow. It's so expensive because it's 85. But it's interesting, if you bought one of these 8K models from Samsung, you know they're going in a different direction next year or so. And then here's the Z8H on the other side. Nice to see a different demo on the Z8H. Still 5 grand. Again, it's 75 inches. Again, I'm sorry, the price is a little bit blurry. Now, hopefully we'll see that come down when you have the Z9J, but again, these releases are going to be pretty staggered, and there's very little solid information on when things are coming out. Now, again, they have this whole group on the other side to the left of the Magnolia section that has, again, different manufacturers, and then some are the same. So here you have, these TVs right next to each other. You can size them up. Now, I'm editing on my phone, so you'll be able to see these and when you're watching more than I can when I'm recording this. Now, there's an 88H and a 950H. But I'll always get to that point. I'll do another video on this where, yes, better picture quality on the 88H, but the size, so I'll always go with larger size and good picture quality versus small and amazing picture quality. That's just a preference for me. We'll be doing a video on the 950H versus the 900H where I'm actually going to cover that because I get a lot of questions about the 900H. There you have a GX and a BX. And the BX, really, really impressive. It just needs to be a little bit more affordable, as the price difference between the BX and the CX is now very, very close. We can see how there's, very flush on the GX. And then on the BX, you have, obviously more of a body to it. Showing the prices again. Now, in this area here, when I kind of turn around, I end up bumping into one of this Best Buy employees and their supervisor. And that's when they were telling me that they don't have any definite dates. A lot of things are being pushed back. So that could be why we're not seeing the typical price drop that we would normally see, because there's no reason for them to drop if nothing new is coming out. So we're going to transition over to the Sony area now. And actually, we're going right over to, the CX. You'll see the CX, and you should be seeing the BX as well. And again, talking about price differences, you can see the difference there. And again, really, really beautiful. So even though the store is a little bit mixed up, it does end up with some good content because you're having panel versus panel, different companies next to different companies. It's not the easiest if you're shopping because they still have these kiosks where there's LG, Samsung. Obviously, there's a NanoCell behind me, and then there's Sony. But I do like that wall, where it does have them compared. I'd love to get my hands on a remote. But due to what's happening, these stores are still on edge. So filming there is, they always kind of give you that weird look. Now I'm going to look in here at the NanoCell. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you any of the Samsungs because they had movies playing on them. So I'll just go over the prices as I pan. But my favorite displays from this last year are the Q90T, the Sony 950H, the Sony A8H, the A9G from the year before, the CX, the BX, and then my value would be the 900H. And now here we are with the Sonys. You have a 950H on the top and a 900H. I also filmed a totally separate segment of this that's about 3 minutes long when I do my comparisons. And we'll actually use ratings.com's, not calibration, but their comparison tool. And we'll compare the two. Because I think the 900H, HDMI gaming features aside, is still this great value for the size. And it's also one of the few TVs you can pick up at Costco. So you can actually get that great warranty that we always talk about. And to me, the 900H, as it gets larger, it is more impressive, as it just engulfs you at 85 inches. Now, this is where we are with the Samsungs. Again, there's movies on screen. I'll get tagged for copyright if it even shows up for a second. But, this year might be the last year. I always feel like Samsung, in a way, when they move from tiers, the next tier always gets hit. So it's always hard to go from one Q90R to Q90T, Q9FN to Q90R. They almost go backwards sometimes. So it's hard to trust what they're going to do until their displays are thoroughly and comprehensively reviewed. But I hope to see some of these little bit of what the store's like. There's really nobody in it. You see the movies playing after them put the camera down. And we're nearing the end of the video. Again, take a look at the NanoCell. And it's a shame that not more of these panels have HDMI 2.1, because I think a lot of you guys would have gotten them. But the gaming on these non-HDMI 2.1 TVs is awesome as well. Because you're still getting 4K 60. You're still not going to experience much screen tearing due to, built-in V-Sync of console games. And I'm going to take a second here as I get to the A9G. There's a part here where my camera almost flips around. I had to flip it over, but I am going to focus a little bit of time on the A9G. To me, OLEDs, other than the A90J being brighter and the Evo being brighter and Panasonic, these images from Sony, the A8H, the A9G, the A9S, is identical to this TV. You see where it's going to flip under. Very elegant look with Sony. Out of the box, their OLEDs are absolutely amazing. So keep your eye on, A90J is going to be expensive and amazing, but if you want to get that OLED, even with gaming on these displays, is incredible. They just, and think about how bright this room is, and it still jumps off the screen. Now I transition quickly into Costco. Now Costco is a place I would recommend to buy panels. I'll spend only a few minutes here. These are a lot of lower level TVs, really small ones, and I do want to focus more on these value brands. The challenge with them is, it's bang for the buck. You can get, these are smaller, but towards the end of the video, you have a lot of the crystal displays from Samsung. And if you're looking for a really large panel for very cheap, it is a good option to watch regular TV. But just know you're kind of foregoing the wider color gamut. You're losing real local dimming. You're losing, even though it might say HDR on the box, you really don't have HDR or the ability to really see it. So just keep that in mind. But if you're looking for a really big TV, and quality's not something you're really looking for, you just want something really bright and big, these other models on the other side are fine. But I am very disappointed. This is the store where I first saw the Quantum XP series. There is no OLEDs in the store. And this was the first store I saw that had them. However, this is the very first Costco I've ever seen a 77-inch CX in stock. There it is. Normally it's only a website thing. And there's the prices there. Actually a little bit higher than it was at Best Buy. But I never really see these in stock. And I'll go over here to the left and you'll see that it's actually there. But again, if you want just a bright IPS panel or something that'll do the job and you want just a really large TV, there's the CX next to the 900H. There are those options. The Q80T is typically in the store, but these crystal dynamic panels, You don't really see them reviewed much. Here's the 900. They're primarily if you want a really big TV. But for those of you looking for even mid to high, there's very few options in Costco. There's more on their website. But unfortunately, more and more common that we can't walk in the store and actually see anything, which is a shame. I'd love to see Hisense and TCL and those guys being here. They have them on Target's website. They have them on all these websites, but not where we can actually see them. And as I mentioned, my Quantum XP series was bought from here. It was the first place where I saw them. Here's another Crystal UHD. Again, very, very cheap for a 75-inch TV. But that's Costco. Hard to recommend going in there, order online. I think you can bring the TVs back even if you buy online. So maybe try that. All right, guys, 20 minutes in. Take the minute or the opportunity again to thank you guys. I hope you enjoy these videos. I enjoy doing them for you. I hope all is well in the community. Thank you so much again for your friendship, for being there. I'm a little behind on my comments, but I will get back to all you guys. Decent sized TVs for pretty affordable. All right, guys. Thank you as always for walking through the store with me. I go in so you don't have to. I will talk to you guys soon. Be safe, and I will see you in the comments. Take care.